a really interesting question, because I guess when we started the pod, we were just kind of talking about like how the last year was, what the New Year's bringing, what are our kind of aspirations, hopes. How can I even call a holiday an aspiration? But off that, it's just like thinking about what we want the new year to bring and cultivate and stuff like that. How we want to live life. Speaking about how like difficult last year was for a lot of people, you're now moving into a different territory where everyone's just like, this year, soft life.
The best life.
Soft life. And I can't be mad at it. Anybody that was in Ghana, that was in Lagos,
people.
they were enjoying. But yeah, somebody asked us the question, and I guess one to kind of just like unpack is like how. What was even the question? Do you know what I was just about to say?
Hold on, give me a second.
And you know me, I don't know social media. What is soft life?
Soft life is. Do you know what?
Easy.
I can't come and kill myself.
It's easy. I can't come and kill myself.
Oh, it's another iteration of that.
Yeah, of that.
Any new dimension, any new emphasis?
Yeah. It's literally that. Like, I think
I don't want to work.
I don't think it's just I don't want to work. I don't think it's I don't want to work. But I think there are some people who think I don't have to. I wasn't in it. But there's obviously degrees of soft life. For some people, soft life might just be
it's cotton wool.
It might just be a few holidays a year.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, it's I need to be taken care of. So I appreciate it. There's something
horizontal.
But I think
the question was why the term soft life might not be helpful to the Christian journey, and a quick Google of soft life, a life that is typified or filled with ease and comfort without requiring any hard work, sacrifice, or unpleasantness. I think that might be a bit difficult I think that might be a bit harsh for soft life definition.
First,
you want to work, you just don't want to work too hard.
Okay, so maybe I just do you like innately when you use the term when you use the term soft life, do you like almost a bit do you have like some kind of impulse that's like, but because I'm a Christian I can't soft life? Do you know what I mean?
I think there's a sense in which I know that all the Christians' time is God's time.
Yeah.
So even our free time has to be enjoyed under the guise of Coram Deo.
Yeah.
But so even me, I remember there was like a pastor like I listened to, and he was just really not condemning like holidays, but just saying you love going on holidays, you love going. We never see you. You're always on a holiday, the old man aspires to like work to 60 and then retire, go on cruises, and it's like you're in a war, like it was just essentially saying that we're soldiers, isn't it? Like we're on mission. So even that tendency to always go on holidays or always want soft life could be a sense that we're not actually taking our walk seriously, or we're actually idolizing, or we've brought into some sort of hedonism that isn't appropriate for a Christian. In saying that, life is hard. You need to rest. Whoop. Like you need to relax. Like it's been a lot of stress. Like stress can kill. So like you have to be life has to be. Why does life have to be hard? Like why rough edges? Like where's the softness? I'm trying to find a balance of not falling into like laziness.
Right.
Thankfully, poverty is a disease. So if you want to be lazy, you go die. But at the same time, with especially coming off a difficult year, you do kind of want this year to be softer. Like you want it to be easier. Not to kind of be irresponsible, but to have some sort of time to repair, to recover, to rest. Like So I think it's a tough balance in that.
No, I hear you, because almost like I almost feel like the question is like phrased slightly negatively, or at least has like negative connotations.
Yeah, it definitely does, the question,
so it's like it's charged in a sense where it doesn't appreciate the point that you've been making, that actually the reality of life is that it can be hard. We have a God who gives rest, specifically that. And sometimes you need to be, you will need to be able to take time to enjoy that rest. You will need to be able to take time to recuperate, have fun. I don't know. I don't know if there's a Christian impulse that kind of makes people think like, I don't know, there's such thing as too much fun. Very possibly, but I'm just thinking, I'm wondering, are they getting that from that kind of, where the scriptures kind of talk about, Christ returning and they were drinking and they were marrying and they just had like no real regard for like Christ coming back. So I don't know if it's like, if it's, what's the word I'm looking for? If it's impacted by those kind of considerations. I think to your point, it like fundamentally misunderstands or doesn't appreciate the reality that if you like are so opposed almost to the term soft life, the reality of just that life can be hard.
Yeah.
But I think for me, when I was thinking about this, because I think towards the end of, so on a New Year's Eve sermon, which I was not present for.
Where were you?
How'd you know about the sermon? How'd you know about the sermon?
Don't worry.
How'd you know about the sermon?
I listened.
Dammy was gonna go. Dammy was gonna go. He put the key in. He said, "That's soft life."
I listened.
Went
the
back
day
inside.
because it did have me thinking. Listen, all of these plans I have, because my year was also, I was also planning for soft life this year.
I hear you.
And I work hard.
You do.
I was actually thinking, right, this year, like I want to be able to enjoy, do things, live life small, travel, all very healthy ambitions type thing. But when I heard this, so the sermon was from 1 Timothy 4, where Paul is telling Timothy about kind of training in godliness. And the point that was being made is that like, bodily exercise profiteth little in comparison to training in godliness.
Yeah.
But the point about like training in godliness is, Pastor was emphasizing that this requires work. Do you know what I mean? This requires
Discipline.
sweat equity, discipline, all of those kind of things. And that's in terms of like your spiritual growth, right? Your growth in grace is something that you have to work at, you have to tease out, you have to push for, you have to strive for. And I guess anything that can kind of dull your sensibilities to that is something to be wary of.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I do get the sense where if you're kind of talking about soft life where you just want everything to come easy. It reminds me, like there's a hymn that we sing in my church, and there's the lines like Christians seek not yet repose. Like there's a sense in which you're always kind of striving and you're working hard. But to that extent, if your approach to soft life is like, particularly with like my walk, I just kind of do things when I wanna. Then completely discouraging you from kind of approaching it in that way. But I don't want people to be under the impression that like, you can't just enjoy small. It's not enjoyment.
It's in the Lord, isn't it?
Have a bite. But that's true. No, but that's the point.
Lord,
in the Lord,
it's
absolutely.
in the Lord.
It's not just like out here running wild. So obviously, I guess that kind of goes without saying. But still, it's not sinful to want to, and I've got to be careful how I'm saying this, to like experience rest. Very simply, it's not to rest. It's a good rest. So I don't want to. In a way that sometimes that question can be charged.
This is all I'm hearing also. I haven't. First time I heard this term, Mary said this.
I can't believe this is the first time we've heard the term.
It ain't in the streets.
But listen, I'm on different streets, but still there. But like for me, it's just definitions because so many. So look, soft life, like. To some degree, like it's a very harmless term. It's a very harmless idea. I think the issue is an idea, and that's why it can be dangerous because ideas, when manifest and go too far, can lead to wrong behavior.
Right.
But soft life for me, if you're saying rest from your labors, if you're saying you take your family on a holiday, you yourself take a break. You enjoy going to a football match, you watch it live, you go into the cinema. Like, those things are not sinful. So we're not even really dealing with, like, sin and not sin. So that's why it even becomes a bit more tricky. Like, so why can't we go all that soft life then? But you, man, I said it. And I just think soft life doesn't... Because you're saying is God gives you rest. Yes. But for those who want to take that rest into indulgence, God's not giving you... No, at no point in our life are we meant to indulge in this world in a way that is like this is all you have. And similarly, the idea of soft life, even though I think it's fine, the sort of limited version. I say limited, I mean like as I explained before. But I think where it can be dangerous is that, as you mentioned, where it actually takes away from your service to the church and service just to responsibilities that you have. So you are like we're meant to work,
right?
Work as in labor. You know, the Bible encourages work. You could say even instructs it. If you don't work, you don't eat. You know. So in a sense, if soft life, if by soft life you're meaning a life where I sit down, I just get money, I just like money flows, I just chill, then maybe they might have a walk view of a healthy soft life. And so that's why it's definitions, it's degrees. But I think where it can be dangerous, and the habit that can be dangerous, if everything in everything that you do, you're trying to pursue self-life. Well, at some point you're pursuing the wrong life, and you're pursuing a non-Christian life. And in some degree, the Christian life is just gonna. It's not that life can be hard for Christians. Life almost will be hard, like for sure. We'll promise that. Whether it's persecution, whether it's contention with the world. So if we're trying to run away from what we know, we're actually in a sense called to, promised to, then self-life isn't self-life. That's just godliness. So you can't get techie with it. And listen, I'm not gonna. My sister says self-life. My Christian, I know what she probably means. Probably says it. Do you know what I mean? But it's if it's like this. Your whole life is about self-life. It's a problem.
I don't know. It does feel like, I don't know. I will hear the question in the sense that it does feel like it may just be the reality. I was just going to say, like, in the same way that there was that YOLO mantra. And again, this could just be kind of social media influencing the way you see things and just warping your perspective. But it does kind of feel like a lot of people from our culture are just trending towards, I just want to be taken care of. Kind of things.
Especially in contrast to your parents, like if you've seen your parents toil and strive, and even when your parents like present, when I was your age, I was doing this. It's like, but why were you suffering? Like, why was that like the norm? Like, why can't my life be full of joy and happiness and ease instead of like graft and to be fair, like. There's some people that are soft life, and then you've got like the rise and grind. Every conversation's about cryptocurrency and what NFT you've purchased. There's generally some people I see them and I avoid them purposely because they're gonna ask me, what's the promotion doing? Like the hustle in it. You got the second. I'm like, bro, like so. There's a balance that even you find as millennials, but I think now the current kind of trend is soft life because it's your best life. You can't come and kill yourself.
Honestly, this guy's gonna hate me for doing this every time. We're gonna pivot because I'm LA's.
What's the America?
But the reality is it's 21 degrees in I ain't never heard
California.
of that. Bro. Honestly, because I'm thinking West Coast of the US, you can be enjoying Orange County. I watched the OC when I was younger. Them men are out there surfing. Enjoyment.
Going to the gym all the time. Fitness guy.
Are you struggling with soft life? Talk to us, bro.
I wish I was struggling with soft life.
I'm done.
As you guys were talking about it, I was thinking, I was like, soft life is real over here. It's real. Like folks move here to enjoy. And I thought I knew what rich looked like in London. We went to Malibu and I said, wow. I said you can enjoy life here. Soft life is big. I'm leaning into a little bit. The beach is free, so you can make it work. But it's I've been leaning into a little bit, but it's definitely a vibe. It's the culture over here, man. And I was thinking about that balance of work and rest that Edge and Mary were talking about. And I just thought, I think one helpful context, which I don't actually see this in Los Angeles, which is I think part of why soft life is so huge, although I don't think they'll use that term here. There's a need for the Christian to look at their lives within the context of their vocation or their calling, to make sense of the balance between work and rest. That each person is called to do something, to be something in this world as it regards to what they actually do with their life. And as a Christian, so Adam and Eve, in Genesis were called to be fruitful, to multiply, to work the ground, the earth, and to keep it. And so within that context of their vocation, they obviously took days of rest, but it was within the idea of like, I'm resting in order to be able to continue this larger call that God has given me. Or I'm working to actually see it come to fruition. And if you don't have that like vocational call deeply embedded, you will go one of two directions, which either you just work all the time, you think life has to be just one huge bag of suffering, or you're like, you go to the end of rest where you want to retire at 30 and never like do anything again from 30 to like 75. Everyone, even after retirement, is called to be and do something in this world. And I think that vocation has to shape work and rest. I don't see that in LA. I think everyone has that vibe of, I'm here to make 5 mil. I'll get myself a nice house in Orange County, and I'm just gonna enjoy. There's no mission or grander vision beyond just the vibe and the soft life. And I don't think you won't see that in scripture, in my opinion.
I feel you. Well, listen, we gotta wrap it up here, man.
You gotta wrap it up. Wait, what's one of the greatest Christian books written?
Right, random question. Wait, have you got one in mind?
No. Pilgrim's Progress.
Right, okay.
The journey, and I think ultimately, there's moments of rest,
right?
But ultimately, rest comes. So if for you, rest is only Amsterdam, Dubai, Saudi, Ghana, wherever, then that's a shame. That's such a shame. That's a damn shame. So ultimately, maybe.
Point taken.